She planned to humiliate her ex-husband on divorce day, but his grand entrance left everyone speechless. In the heart of Los Angeles, where image is everything and reputation is a currency of its own, Lauren Mitchell thought she had already won. After 2 years of marriage, she was ready to make her ex, David Hayes, the punchline of every brunch table. He'd been quiet, hardworking, and broke, or so she thought. Today was her victory parade. Cameras, gossip blogs, her friends in designer sunglasses, all waiting to witness the poor man she'd left behind crawl to court in shame. But what Lauren didn't know was that David wasn't the man she remembered. The quiet nights she called boring had been building something bigger, something powerful enough to flip the story. When he showed up that morning, he wouldn't just walk in as the ex-husband she pitied, he'd arrive as the man who rewrote the ending. The same courthouse steps she planned to climb in pride would soon become the ground that shook beneath her heels. And when the engine sound finally echoed across Hill Street, every head turned, including hers. Because what arrived next was not what anyone expected. "Shame on you, David. You can't even afford the suit you'll wear to your own divorce," Lauren said, laughing as her friends took pictures outside the Stanley Moss courthouse. The California sun bounced off her emerald dress as she posed for one last freedom shot before walking in. "When he gets here," she whispered to her best friend Jenna, "don't even glance his way. Let him feel invisible." The plaza buzzed with life, lawyers with briefcases, reporters waiting for celebrity cases, and traffic horns blending with city noise. Lauren soaked in the attention. The girl who once shared an apartment with David above a taco shop now wore designer heels and carried a $4,000 handbag. She wanted everyone to see the glow-up. Her attorney, Mr. Rowland from Beverly Hills' top law firm, flipped through her case file. "Stay composed. The judge respects confidence," he advised. "We'll get you the settlement you deserve." Lauren smiled and adjusted her diamond bracelet. "Deserve? Oh, I plan to enjoy it." She pulled out her phone, checking her reflection and scrolling past a finance blog ad that read, "Rebuild your wealth with smart investment planning." Across the street, a black sedan idled quietly. Inside, David Hayes watched her laughter fade through tinted glass. His phone buzzed once. "It's time." The sound came first, a low, rolling thunder that made people turn before they understood why. Then the car appeared, sleek and commanding, gliding down Hill Street like a shadow wearing sunlight. A black Rolls-Royce Ghost. Not rented. Not borrowed. Owned. Lauren froze mid-laugh, her hand still lifted to fix her hair. "No way," Jenna whispered, squinting. "That can't be him." But when the chauffeur stepped out and opened the door, there he was, David Hayes, calm, poised, and nothing like the man she left behind. A tailored navy suit framed his shoulders perfectly, and the quiet confidence in his stride drew every eye in the plaza. Even the reporters shifted their cameras, recognizing a story worth catching. Lauren's attorney lowered his sunglasses. "That's your ex-husband?" She swallowed, trying to steady her voice. "He must have borrowed it. He doesn't even have a credit card." But David wasn't just driving wealth, he was radiating it. The subtle Rolex on his wrist, the custom cufflinks, the composure that screamed success earned, not bought. He looked at Lauren once, then past her, as though she were another stranger on the street. "Mr. Hayes," his assistant said, holding open the courthouse door, "your meeting with the investment board is after this hearing." Lauren's heart sank. The air inside the courtroom felt charged, like everyone had unknowingly stepped into a movie set. Cameras from a local business outlet lingered near the door, hoping to catch a glimpse of the man who'd just arrived in a Rolls-Royce. Lauren sat upright beside her attorney, crossing her legs like she owned the room. She didn't dare look behind her, but she could feel David's presence, steady, unbothered, powerful. Case number 4821. Mitchell versus Hayes. Divorce and Asset Division, the bailiff announced. The judge, a stern woman with reading glasses, nodded. "Let's begin." Lauren's attorney rose first. "Your Honor, my client seeks a fair and final settlement, as her husband failed to maintain financial stability throughout their marriage." David's lawyer, a composed woman named Grace Parker, smiled faintly. "Your Honor, we'd like to submit additional documents reflecting my client's recent financial developments." Lauren frowned. whispering, "Financial what?" Grace handed the judge a folder. As of last quarter, Mr. Hayes is the majority shareholder of Evermont Tech, the software firm recently valued at $480 million. The room gasped softly. The judge looked up over her glasses. "Mr. Hayes, is this accurate?" David nodded once. "Yes, Your Honor." Lauren's mouth went dry. "That's impossible." Outside the courtroom, the world moved fast. Word of the revelation spread like wildfire through the courthouse lobby. A tech journalist tweeted, "David Hayes, founder of Evermont Tech, revealed during divorce hearing. Net worth estimated at over $300 million." Within minutes, cameras and reporters swarmed the building. Inside, Lauren tried to breathe, but the room spun. You built Evermont?" she whispered, disbelief cutting through her confidence. David finally looked at her, his tone calm but sharp. "While you were posting vacation photos, I was coding through nights. You mocked my dreams. I built them anyway." Her attorney stammered, We weren't aware of these holdings, Your Honor." Grace Parker's voice carried easily across the courtroom. "Of course not. Mr. Hayes maintains separate investment portfolios, and all transfers were made post-separation. Legally, his success is his own." Lauren's hand trembled. Her friend Jenna, sitting in the back, looked away. The judge cleared her throat. "This court sees no grounds for spousal support. Mrs. Mitchell, your request is denied." The gavel fell, one clean strike. Lauren's vision blurred as the reporters rushed out. Her phone buzzed endlessly. Notifications, mentions, headlines. David Hayes shocks ex-wife with billionaire status. She'd come to humiliate him. Instead, she'd written her own downfall. The courthouse doors burst open, and the Los Angeles sun met chaos. Reporters crowded the steps, microphones flashing like lightning. "Mr. Hayes, is it true you're the new majority owner of Evermont Tech?" one shouted. "Are you officially a billionaire?" David paused at the top step, calm as ever. "I'm just a man who believed in building rather than blaming," he said quietly. Then he turned toward his attorney and nodded, signaling they were done. His tone was humble, not gloating, not bitter, and that made it sting even more. Lauren followed a few steps behind, trying to hide her face behind dark sunglasses. Cameras swarmed her. "Mrs. Mitchell, any comment on your husband's success? Did you know he owned Evermont Tech?" Her friend Jenna tried to block the view, but it was too late. The image of the woman who'd mocked her broke. X was everywhere, trending, streaming, replayed on every financial news site and business podcast in the city. David walked to the waiting Rolls-Royce, opening the door himself. Before stepping in, he looked back once, not at Lauren, but through her, a look that said this chapter's closed. The door shut softly. Silence followed, and for the first time, Lauren realized silence could be louder than words. By evening, Los Angeles had a new headline. David Hayes, the billionaire nobody saw coming. Business channels replayed clips of his calm answers outside court. Financial advisors called it the most graceful revenge in modern divorce history. Meanwhile, Lauren sat alone in her glass-walled apartment overlooking the city, the one she used to boast about. Her phone wouldn't stop buzzing, but this time it wasn't praise. Brands she'd partnered with for her lifestyle blog sent polite termination emails. Sponsors backed out. A luxury skincare company messaged, "We're reviewing our contracts amid recent media attention." Jenna came over, nervous. "Lauren, people are saying you." "I don't want to hear it," she snapped. "He made me look like a fool." Jenna hesitated. "No, Lauren. You did that when you laughed at him." Lauren turned away, her reflection in the window catching the city lights, bright, distant, unreachable. Across town, David sat in a boardroom on the 42nd floor of Evermont Tech. Investors clapped as the company hit a record valuation. His new assistant smiled. "You handled that with class, sir. The public loves your story, from heartbreak to billion-dollar vision." David's reply was quiet, almost distant. "Some lessons can only be taught by loss." 2 weeks later, Los Angeles couldn't stop talking about David Hayes. His face appeared on business magazine covers under headlines like "The Quiet Genius Behind Evermont Tech." Meanwhile, Lauren Mitchell's name had become gossip fuel. She sat at a cafe in Beverly Grove, reading an article that made her stomach twist. David Hayes secretly launched Evermont Tech during his marriage. The startup, initially dismissed by investors, gained traction after a small insurance technology partnership exploded into a billion-dollar platform. Lauren blinked at the next paragraph. His inspiration came from the woman who once doubted him. Her chest tightened. He hadn't said her name, but everyone knew. "Excuse me," a voice said. She looked up to see Grace Parker, David's attorney. The woman's expression was calm, but edged with truth. He never wanted revenge, Lauren. He wanted freedom. But when you made his failure your entertainment, he turned pain into purpose. Lauren's lip trembled. "He used me." Grace shook her head. "He learned from you. That's different." As Grace left, Lauren stared at her untouched coffee. The cafe buzzed with people, conversations, laughter, business meetings, all moving on with their lives. And for the first time, Lauren realized she'd built her world on followers while David built his on foundations. Lauren's world had gone silent. The phone that once buzzed with brand deals and brunch invites now sat cold on her marble counter. Her last sponsorship payment had been withdrawn after the scandal, and her influencer agency dropped her, citing negative public sentiment. She wandered through her apartment, each echo reminding her of what she'd lost. Not just money, but meaning. Even her mother's voice, once full of pride, now carried disappointment. "Lauren, how could you treat a man like that? He gave you everything, and you mocked him." "I didn't know who he'd become," Lauren whispered. "No," her mother said softly. "You never cared to know who he was." That night, Lauren opened her laptop and scrolled through old photos. The two of them on a tiny balcony in downtown LA, eating takeout after he'd pulled another all-nighter coding. He'd looked at her like she was his whole world, and she had looked past him, already dreaming of a bigger one. She closed the computer, tears spilling freely. For the first time, there was no camera, no audience, no applause, just the truth. And the truth was simple. She had walked away from gold because it wasn't shining yet. It happened on a gray Friday morning in downtown Los Angeles. Lauren had an interview, not for a brand deal, but for a regular marketing job at a mid-size financial consulting firm. Humility had replaced glamour. She wore a simple navy suit, no diamonds, no designer bag, just quiet hope. As she waited in the lobby, she heard a familiar voice behind her. Calm, certain, unmistakable. "Lauren." Her heart stumbled. She turned, and there he was. David Hayes, standing taller than she remembered, dressed in a charcoal suit that spoke of success but not arrogance. For a moment, neither spoke. The silence was heavy, but not bitter. "I didn't know you worked here," she said softly. "I don't," he replied. "My firm just acquired this company last week." The words hit her harder than any insult ever could. "I'm not here to embarrass you," he continued gently. "If you want this job, take it. You've paid your price." Lauren's eyes glistened. "Why are you being kind to me after everything?" He gave a faint, tired smile. "Because hating you kept me stuck. Forgiving you lets me move forward." Then he turned and walked away, leaving her in quiet tears, for the first time, not of shame, but of understanding. Months later, Los Angeles buzzed again, not with scandal, but with admiration. David Hayes stood on stage at a charity gala, announcing a new financial literacy foundation for single parents rebuilding their lives after divorce. Cameras flashed, but this time, his story wasn't about revenge. It was about renewal. In the audience, quietly seated at the back, Lauren watched with misty eyes. She had taken that marketing job and worked hard, starting over from the bottom. The humiliation that once broke her had reshaped her into someone humble, grateful, and finally real. When David stepped off stage, their eyes met for the first time since that day in the lobby. No anger, no bitterness, just peace. She approached him slowly. "You turned your pain into purpose," she said. He smiled faintly. "We both did. You found yourself again, didn't you?" Lauren nodded. "By losing everything, I learned what mattered." He extended his hand, steady and kind. "Then maybe that's how we both win." She took it, tears glimmering under the lights. Outside, the city glowed, not with noise or power, but quiet grace. Because sometimes the greatest revenge isn't triumph. It's transformation. And the loudest victory is peace.